Dr. Hackey Reitman. Welcome to another episode of Exploring Different Brains. Today, we're very excited to welcome part of the crew from the Autism Theater Project. I'm going to have all of you give a brief introduction of yourself, and I'll start with the Autism Theater Project founder, Gina Sims.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Gina. Yes, I am very proud to have founded the Autism Theater Project and be working with several very passionate and talented autistic actors and writers, as well as people who are not on the spectrum, who are equally passionate about telling stories that really show the potential, strength, and resilience of the autism community. And these are just a few of the people that I've been working with, and they've been doing wonderful, wonderful work. Our main production as of now is called The Voice Inside, and it is going to be an ongoing series that basically puts together different stories from people on the spectrum as well as those off the spectrum and integrates them into this series where we hear from different people's perspectives. Yes, and yeah, and I'm also a performer, and I write, direct, and produce our productions.
Write, produce, direct, act, you do it all. Kayla, you're up.
Hello, my name is Kayla, and I am a musician, singer, pianist, and I produce music, and I am an actress in The Voice Inside. I also am an educator for the past 5 years as well, and I love music, and I'm happy to be here.
Great. Mateo, would you like to introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, I would, Doctor. Hello, my name is Mateo. I'm a playwright and set designer. I'm non-union set designer and an autistic advocate on the spectrum. My plays talk about stuff that we don't normally talk about at the dinner table, like ignorance, compassion, inclusive employment, believing in yourself, working hard, and never giving up, which are the 3 morals that I think everybody should follow, and and a lot of people don't. But I'm just thrilled to be here, thrilled to be on this podcast, and thrilled to be with all of you, including you, Gina. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Zach, you want to give a brief introduction?
Hi, my name is Zachary Hoagland, and I am a video editor, actor, and I work with Different Brains. I'm the host for Week in Neurodiversity, and I also work with the Autism Theater Project. I've had a great time with Gina and Kayla. I've had a good time working with them.
Gina, tell us what the Autism Theater Project is and how it got started.
The Autism Theater Project is essentially both a production company and an educational organization. So I was inspired by my sister and also a young actress I met at this event called National Young Arts Week when I was in high school. So that was in 2014. I met this young actress who works with autistic actors on productions, and she told me about how open they were and how honest they were in their performances and what a cool experience it was. And I was thinking, I've always wanted to create something very big, something that would be seen around the world that shifts people's perspectives on autism. And I also always wanted to use my passion for theater and for teaching autistic children to help them learn social skills through our drama programs.
Very cool. Kayla, tell us about the new web series, The Voice Inside, and the role you play in it.
Yes, so I play a teacher, and I'm playing a teacher that is for a adult education program. And it's almost like when I'm in school, people are afraid of the unknown, and like when I'm communicating with the actors and reading the lines, I could feel how this is how it happens in the real world. People are afraid of the unknown, and especially if you're on a spectrum, change could be really hard and you're trying to adjust with new classes. And it's nice that in how Gina wrote it, like it gives the person that I'm talking to in the script, letting them know it's gonna be all right. You have it in you. So that's my role, to like at least be inspirational to the students and try to help them. And I feel like that's how it should be, like, you know, in education in real life. And that's how it was put.
Well, all the great teachers feel that inspiration is the key.
Yes.
Matteo, can you tell us about the genesis of the story for The Voice Inside?
Sure, I can. The Voice Inside is about my high school journey and about how I struggled and struggled and struggled, and then finally went to an adult school that accepted me. And basically, I got my diploma and I got into college. It's a very, not tragic story, I would say, but very sad, because in my personal opinion, a lot of people sadly who have special needs go through all that. They get told no, they can't do that. Like they basically get told no, you cannot do something because you have a disability, because you have, and sadly that's what happened to me. I was supposed to get a Canadian Ontario secondary school diploma, and sadly after a couple doctors told me and made a big report, which I do not want to get into because it's more sad and brings me back to that time where I was very upset and I still am to this day about it. I have post-traumatic stress disorder about it, so I can't really complain about it, but it's with me. It still stings a lot. And basically, after that event, they brought me to Life Skills, which is special ed. Now, I told Dean and I told everybody, I can walk, I can talk, I can think. I'm not dumb. So, but they thought that I was dumb. And there's actually a line that says, too dumb to try. Basically, when we don't try, we never know. And I think people prejudge or assume, instead of flat out saying he can't do this. They should have said, right now he cannot do this, but maybe down the road he could.
Well,
It's like, you know what I mean, right? Yeah,
it's inspirational. It's inspirational.
absolutely. Thank you.
Zach, how does acting make you feel, and how does it compare to being behind the camera, which you also excel at?
It makes me a whole a different person. Like I'm portraying this student that that had a hard time in school. He kept he keeps on repeating high school, and he has all these voices inside my head, um and um he keeps hitting himself, uh and also even at home, um uh there were and at school, he has all these meltdowns. And so to get into character, I had these had glasses, and I also have a lisp, kind of like this, the to sound a bit like Mateo. And so it was something that I came up with.
Thank you, Zach. Caleb, both as an actress and as a teacher, Can you talk about why opportunities like the Autism Theater Project are important for people to have?
Yes, oftentimes like people who have disabilities and are often overlooked because they have that, they're like, oh, I don't want to work with them. And what Gina does with the Autism Theater Project, she takes in people who have autism and different disabilities, and we're able to showcase ourselves, because not a lot of times when you look at Hollywood or on cameras, you see people that have a disability. And oftentimes when reading articles, many people have to hide their disability, and it shouldn't be something you have to hide, because it's a part of you, and you don't know who you may help by telling your story of what you have and who you are. And as being an educator, I want my students to come into my room and just feel included and have fun. And what the Autism Theater Project, when I first did the screen reading, I think that's what it's called. It was fun and I felt included, and I was like, I can't wait to do this again. So it's very nice to be a part of this, because it's inclusive. It helps people to understand the stories of people that have disabilities. So
It's
yeah.
inclusive and and fun often gets overlooked. Things should.
Yes.
Um,
And
Gina,
everyone is just kind. So I love so fun, kind, and inclusive. Yes.
Gina, would you like to add to that?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for everything you said, Kayla. I would say that what's been very special for me has been working with people who work at such a professional level and bring so much to the table with their own talents and commitment to this project, and being able to give them a professional platform to share their gifts and tell a story that's universally relatable. Um, so it's been wonderful co-writing with Mateo, who has inspired me so much throughout this process over the past couple of years, and seeing Zach and Kayla excel on camera, and also fundraising to be able to give jobs to those in our company who work professionally. Stipends for now, and eventually as we're able to grow our business and get a wide audience for these productions, hopefully create long-term jobs for autistic actors and writers.
And how can our viewers and those who might be reading the transcript of this or listening on the podcast of this or viewing the video of this, how can they learn more about the Autism Theater Project?
They can go to our website, www.autismtheaterproject.org. If they would like to message us, they can go to the contact page and send us an email. If they would like to donate, they can hit the donate button on the homepage of the website. We also have a YouTube channel where there are interviews, or where there will be interviews featuring Mateo and Kayla. Oh yeah, we already have a couple interviews featuring Mateo, and I won't put Zach on the spot, but I don't know, maybe we'll have an interview, but I don't know. That's a maybe. We've talked about before. I'm not saying, I'm not promising anything. But anyway, you'll definitely see Zach's work featured in our trailer when we put that on our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is also called Autism Theater Project. We have Instagram and Facebook, all at Autism Theater Project.
The new web series is The Voice Inside. What a great name. Great name. Mateo, from your perspective, why is it important to have autistic people represented on the stage and the screen?
That's a good question. It gives us as a community something to strive for, a goal in mind, and also not necessarily something to do, but when I personally dislike when I see somebody in a wheelchair on screen or on stage and they're not played by an autistic or special needs actor. And that happens so much in our society today. And it's just sad that people really haven't opened up to that yet. And I think what Gina and the team is doing is not only giving opportunities to actors like Zach and Kayla and writers like myself, but opening the door for new perceptions, new perceptions instead of like I told you, assuming or guessing all the time. People assume all the time. People guess like all the time instead of getting to know the person. You know what I mean? And then going from there, people, just because I stim or I can't take a joke doesn't mean that I'm not a good person, or that doesn't mean that I am different. But I want to. But the thing is, and the main thing is, we want to belong in society. It's been too long. You know what I mean?
Sure. Would anyone else like to add to that?
I would.
Go ahead, Zach.
What makes in the film, what makes Matt's character stand out is because he's portrayed by an actor who also has autism, and even for characters who actually who have autism who are portrayed by real autistic people makes it more realistic, unlike regular people who pretend to be who pretend to have autism, like Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man, and the Good Doctor. They're just regular people who pretend to have a disability. Like they study them and they try to act it out, to act like pretend that they are autistic, but that's not very real.
Well, Gina, Zach, Mateo, Kayla of the Autism Theater Project, and the new web series is called The Voice Inside. Thank you so much for being with us here at Different Brains. Keep up the great work. Thanks.
Thank you.
Exploring Different Brains is a production of Different Brains. Visit us at differentbrains.org.